In order to live an extraordinary and abundant life, you must focus on your internal battle and win within. My name is Randy Wilson, and welcome to the Rich Mind Podcast. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Rich Mind Podcast. And today we're still diving into 6 of the 13 success principles from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. As I've mentioned in previous episodes, that resource itself, that book, has been very influential in my life and my achievements that I've made up to this point. And it will be for the achievements that I make going forward as well, for myself, for my family. So once again, I highly encourage you get a copy of that book, whether it's in hard format, it can be PDFs. I mean, find it. Find Think and Grow Rich and consume it. Read it to study it. Don't just read it to just get through it, and begin applying and implementing the strategies, the principles within. And I promise you, it's going to make some significant impact positively in your life. It has for me, and I'm confident that it will for you as well. But we are on the 5th principle in the 6-step principles, or 6 of the principles that I wanted to highlight out of the 13. We're on principle number 5 today. And that principle is specialized knowledge. I love this one because I believe that if you capture what I'm about ready to share with you here today, if you study the chapter within the book Think and Grow Rich about specialized knowledge, you can greatly impact from a positive standpoint your current situation, whether it's from a financial standpoint, whether it's from even from in your work, if you're working a W-2 job, if you're getting ready to head out into the entrepreneurial world, if you're interested in starting a business. Specialized knowledge is crucial. A little bit of a story for myself, and hopefully maybe this will share with you as far as why it's so important. So one thing, first off, before I head into that story, this is where I talk a lot about on the podcast before. I talk, and I call it self-education, meaning that a lot of times from what I've studied and folks that I've interacted with, they feel like they have to go to school to get this information or to get knowledge. And that once they leave school, that's it. There's no more learning. You just go to a job, you clock in, you clock out, you just do your duties, and you don't necessarily take responsibility for continuing your education process. Now, self-education is vitally important, which is where the specialized knowledge comes in. So back to that story. So I remember many years ago, once again, this is very early on in my journey, I was following Brendan Burchard. So once again, if you're not following Brendan, I highly recommend you go through and find his content. You'll find it anywhere and everywhere. He's been around for quite some time. But back then, he had a seminar that my wife and I attended out in California, which was a lot of fun. But in that seminar, he was trying to help folks find the courage, find the ability to get out and share the message with the world. I forget exactly what it was called back then. I'm trying to think, but it's not coming to me. But anyways, it was a conference, and it was a lot of fun. But one person in the audience, which is a question that I was having at the same time too as well, they raised their hand and they said, how in the world do I share information with folks that I don't know what it is that I should be doing, right? It's like, that's where the how part comes in. How do I share with somebody some information that I don't necessarily know what the best way to go about doing it is? Hopefully I've worded that well for as far as the question that they had. That wasn't exactly verbatim what they said, but the idea is that, they were doubting themselves, offering content to the marketplace because they were unsure. Once again, steps back into that the previous lesson on faith, the principle on faith. So they were just uncertain, which was creating some doubt, which was creating them the lack in the ability to keep moving forward. And from stage, I remember Brendan saying this, which impacted me a lot. He said, go out there and get a result that you know is needed and wanted in the marketplace. And I know that sounds simple. And he said it kind of direct. He was very much just trying to prove a point or get a message or a point across. But the idea is that you need to go out and through your burning desire, through your definiteness of purpose, through faith, through persistence, all the things that we've talked about today, you need to go out and determine what that is, that result that you want to get, that you can then go out there and start sharing your message with other people. You can then at some point start offering them as a service or a product or a service to other people as well. So for myself, when I first started down this journey of personal development, I mentioned about my YouTube channel. When I first started, I was trying to share information as I was gathering it at the time. Now, back then, 10, 12, however many years ago it was, I didn't have the results that I have today. So it was a little bit of a struggle for me to share messages with folks that I didn't necessarily have the evidence of it actually working. Fast forward now 12 years of actively pursuing and doing the concepts and ideas that we share here on the podcast. I have results. I have things that I've done. I've built a Amazon business, a multi-million-dollar Amazon business. I now have launched a podcast. I'm 200 plus episodes in, hundreds of followers, YouTube channel that's relatively successful, I would say, in my opinion. It's been a lot of fun. I actually have achieved top 5% as far as in all podcasts, as far as a ranking for the podcast, which is super exciting for myself as well. But the point is that I've gotten some results that I can now then speak to how I've implemented the principles that we've talked about here today. So specialized knowledge. What can you specialize in? So for me, it was content creation, which is consumed or led me to creating the podcast, which then has led me then to figure out editing and marketing and creating content as far as courses and offering courses, coaching, all of those different types of things. Social media. So I'm actually helping my wife with her brand and her business with her social media, which has allowed me then to even develop even more of my creativity, which has been a lot of fun. So that's the question I want to leave for you here today is what area can you get specialized knowledge in? Where can you improve your self-education? What is that burning desire? What is that that feeling, something that you really want to do more than anything else? For example, with my wife and the wedding experiences that we've talked about in the past, she consumes magazines and different websites, and she's always studying the different trends, what to expect moving forward. She knows what's going to happen in 2025 before most folks because she studies it. She has a specialized knowledge in the wedding event space business, which gives her an advantage. And that's kind of the idea, is that once you get that specialized knowledge, once you get that ability then to consume and share on a specific topic, you will then quickly raise yourself up to a status of expert. I mean, I don't know if that's the right your term to use at this point, but you're definitely going to have more knowledge about a specific subject than others. And when you do that, you have the ability to then share it with them in a way that whether you start a business and you can start offering products and services around that specialized knowledge and that self-education, that's the whole point. Is that when you get specific and get determined, move through the persistence, understand that you need to get a result. I'll go back to, I'll never forget sitting in that room. And he said that if you don't know or have an idea of what you want to share with folks, or even if you do have an idea, but you don't necessarily have the result to back it up, then go get the result, which is exactly what I've done here on the podcast. For example, I'm nearly almost 2 years in, 200 episodes into recording, hitting record, and whether it's an interview process or solo episode like it is today, but I've gotten the result, meaning I've been able to produce, get things done as far as the result with the podcast, the positive things, the things I've learned, the things I don't want to do. I've mentioned about different tools I'm trying to implement. I've learned different softwares. I've learned how to communicate with folks, promoting it, marketing it, you name it, with the podcast. I've gotten a result. And because of that, now I feel confident that I could teach someone how to do this exact same thing. Let's say you're out there and you know of something, you have a burning desire and you're ready to start a podcast. If you came to me, and I welcome you to do that, you can reach out to me. My email is randy@richmind.co. Just email me. Let's have a chat. But I would love to have an opportunity to help you understand how, where to start, where to begin, what do you need. Yeah, I can help you do all of those things because of the result that I've gotten with the Rich Mind podcast, which is exactly what Brendan Burchard shared with us in that conference room that day, 10, 12, however many years ago that was. That was a long time ago. So specialized knowledge. What do you want to get super good at? There are folks that are very good at, you name it. It can be any subject. I mean, you might not even have thought weddings was a subject, but it is. It's a very big subject and it's a very important subject. It's a lot of fun. financial education, and personal development. Those are my two main topics that I want to share here on the podcast: health, wealth, and legacy. We're going to keep diving into those topics as well. But then learning how to get good at the craft of podcasting and sharing my message, and then marketing the message, and then offering potential products and services to you, the listener, that will help solve problems for yourself. That's the goal. That's the idea. I want to serve. I'm showing up trying to serve as much as possible. And with that allows me then to keep stepping into this burning desire to reach the success that I have for myself and my family moving forward. So I think we're going to wrap this one up here today. This has been a lot of fun. As I've mentioned, if you have a desire for yourself to begin a podcast in 2025, or if you're catching this sometime in the future, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to try to help you get the process started. The email, once again, is randy@richmind.co. Email me, or you can head over to richmind.co, and there's a contact page. Email us and let us know how we are able to potentially help you begin the process, get some specialized knowledge, and then share that knowledge with the world. Once again, it's amazing with technology these days, with AI these days, how relatively simple it is to craft a message, share a message, and really impact a lot of lives, it begins to be a lot of fun. And I encourage you to start doing that as quickly as you possibly can. So we're getting ready to wrap up this little mini series. Once again, I appreciate your time and attention. If you found value in this message or any of the other messages here on the Rich Mind Podcast, if you wouldn't mind sharing that with your family and friends, help me spread the message of the Rich Mind Podcast. I'm trying to grow it obviously as wide as I possibly can. I would greatly appreciate that. You can head to the podcast platform of your choice. Leave me a review. I would greatly appreciate that as well. You can follow me on any podcast platform. And then also I'm on YouTube at Randy Wilson as well. You can find me there if you'd prefer to watch this on video. So go out there, have a fantastic day. Focus on being great. I look forward to coming back with the final success principle, number 6, as we continue on with the success principles from Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. I look forward to coming back with that very soon. Until then, bye now. Thank you for joining me on the Rich Mind Podcast. And remember, your external world is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So focus every day on that internal battle and win within. Until next time, my friends.